Let us pray. We call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
So fixing, pleasing, rescuing, and chasing are all manifestations of self-avoidance. When you're consumed by another person's life, you will inevitably neglect your own. The first thing I do then, when you're caught up in this cycle, is to put the force back on your own life, back on your own life, and make your fulfillment your greatest priority. This is what reclaiming your power is. It means you face yourself, and in so doing, you will find yourself. This is wisdom at its finest. Absolutely. Absolutely. You give your power away when you're outer focused on everything but your own self. Thank you, John. And I believe Michelle Fielding is next. Yes. I love her voice. Thank you, John.
Dearest beings of light, we are entering a new era, a new paradigm, a new societal setup. Many layers of the spiritual hierarchy are adjusting and repositioning themselves for the huge crescendo ahead of us. A lot of foundation work has been achieved, as the old societal norms have been stirred up for re-examination. Those people, organizations, and practices that are no longer aligned to the higher vibrations of light, they will be halted. Anything or anyone not acting with a pure heart, not coming from a place of purity and authenticity, they will be exposed. All the old paradigms are shifting. Politics, finances, education, medicine, spirituality, and religion. Everything is receiving a massive influx of energy codes, energies of light. Light is wisdom. Each cell within the human organism is being cracked open with the new light coding, and a metamorphosis is occurring in all sentient beings. Sentient means to be heart-centered. Sentient means to be conscious and aware of the patterns and waves of love that flow in and around us. Sentient means to harness these unique flows and vibrations of sonics and sounds to create a newer, more unique and pure version of self. A version of self that is released from egoic pursuits, that is released from those pursuits that prevent a life of flow, a life of living in unconditional love, living in God's love. The new encoded waves of energy are higher gradings of consciousness never seen in this lifetime. Everyone will feel it. Every cell will be cracked open, and a metamorphosis will be witnessed within and without. For as the vibrations change within us, so does the landscape around us also change. Those things that no longer serve us must now be released. Those thoughts that no longer serve us must now be released. Those people who no longer serve us must be released. And we are free. So free. We vibrate and exist at the level of freedom, the level of God's consciousness, free of all earthly concerns. And we are blessed. We are the blessed children of God as we witness and harness, as we imbue and resonate the purest, finest vibrations, the exquisite and sublime, the pure and the dynamic. In this essence, in this moment, we witness great clarity, clarity within our hearts, clarity within our mind. The meaning of life becomes clear. It is not earthly possessions that create freedom. It is not routines and structures that create freedom. Freedom, dear ones, is a moment of divine clarity, a moment that sparkles like a dewdrop in the sun, like a flower unfolding in the sunshine, like a new-born animal feeling the air for the first moment. Freedom is only a heartbeat of unconditional love, with no expectation of anything other than love is available in each and every moment, in each and every heartbeat. A newborn only seeks to breathe, to feel a breath that connects it to the source of all that is. This source is the eternal flow of unconditional love, the eternal flow of God's consciousness. This has been a channeling from Lord Maitreya, the Universal Teacher.
So be it. And so it is. Absorb those words. Make it your own. Know that it's true. If you don't believe it, even though it's offered to you, you won't be able to get the benefit until you do. Thank you, John. And the third gift tonight, actually the second video, is about spiritual laws, the greater wisdom.
Imagine, if you will, a hidden code, a sacred blueprint that underlies everything in existence. These aren't man-made laws, constrained by time or geography, but cosmic laws, timeless and universal. They don't govern your actions with the threat of punishment, but guide your life towards greater wisdom and fulfillment. They've shaped your past, and they'll shape your future. But most importantly, they can illuminate your present. As we delve into these universal laws, may you find not just knowledge, but insight, not just information, but transformation. The law of divine oneness. This principle signifies that we are all connected, that we are all part of a divine infinite energy that is much greater than our individual selves. It teaches us that every action, every thought, every word we speak is not confined to the peripheries of our individual existence, but reverberates through the universe, affecting the whole. It's the understanding that your life, my life, and all life is interconnected and interdependent. In recognizing the law of divine oneness, we understand that no one is alone. We are on this journey together. We are not merely drops in the ocean, but the ocean in a drop. For if all that we see, feel, and experience is an extension of the same divine source, then love, kindness, and compassion become the logical responses to all interactions. It's about treating others with the same respect and care you would want for yourself, understanding that a hurt inflicted upon another is a hurt inflicted upon yourself. This law is the epitome of the golden rule. Treat others as you wish to be treated. So how can we apply this principle in our everyday lives? Start by recognizing the divine in every individual you encounter. Treat every interaction as an opportunity to express kindness and understanding. When you speak, let your words reflect your understanding of this unity. When you listen, do so with the empathy that stems from knowing we are all branches of the same tree. The law of vibration. This law suggests that everything in our universe, from the largest galaxies to the smallest particles, everything, including your thoughts and feelings, operates on distinct frequencies or vibrations. Nothing rests. Everything is in motion, constantly vibrating and resonating at different frequencies. If I want more money, I need to find out what the vibration or feel of money is and try to match that frequency. If I want to feel love, I need to vibrate at the love frequency, which is the highest frequency. If I want a specific person in my life, both of us need to be tuned into the same vibration or frequency. To use this law to manifest your desires, you must match your vibration to the thing you desire. If you want to be among the stars, you must first feel like one. Recognizing this law changes how we view ourselves and our place in the world. We're not merely physical entities navigating through life. We are energetic beings, vibrating at certain frequencies, and these vibrations influence our experiences, our interactions, and our reality. Think about your thoughts and emotions. When you're filled with joy and positivity, you feel light, buoyant, almost as though you're vibrating at a higher frequency. Similarly, when you're sad or negative, you feel heavy, weighed down as though vibrating at a lower frequency. The law of correspondence. This law states that what's going on inside you matches what's happening outside you. It says that your inner feelings and thoughts directly affect your outside world. So what's happening outside is just a reflection of what's happening inside you. As within, so without, it proclaims. If you feel good about yourself, everything around you seems great. If you feel bad, everything around you seems bad. If you feel peaceful inside, everything around you is peaceful. But if you're feeling messed up inside, you'll feel stress in your life. You're confronted with a powerful truth. You are the architects of your reality. You hold within you the power to shape your external world by altering your internal state. The thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the attitudes you embody, all of these paint a vivid picture that becomes your life. The things you think about become the things you have to live with. To change your world, you must first change yourself, and the outside world will reflect that. The law of attraction. This law states that like attracts like. Whatever you focus your attention on, whether it's positive or negative, you attract into your life. This is not mere philosophy, but a principle that has been recognized by ancient cultures, quantum physicists, and successful individuals around the world. The law of attraction is very similar to the law of vibration. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. The law of attraction also says that you need to believe that you can get what you want. If you want to attract money, but you can't see how it's possible and doubt it will happen, you're just like a wave in the ocean, pushed around by the wind. You can't expect to attract something that you don't believe you can get. If you want good health, you need to take care of yourself like your life depends on it. If you want money, be generous with it, and it will come back to you. If you want love, start by loving yourself and others. The law of inspired action. This law suggests that while you can visualize, affirm, and align your thoughts with your desires, nothing changes until you take action. However, this is not just any action. It is inspired action, action that originates from a place of alignment with your desires, intuition, and inner guidance. This law is the driving force behind the manifestation of your dreams. While the law of attraction helps you to align your thoughts and feelings with your desires, the law of inspired action propels you to move in the direction of those desires. It is the bridge that connects the invisible world of thoughts and the tangible world of reality. To get what you want, you have to play a role. Inspired action is not forced. It's not born out of desperation or fear. Instead, it is a joyful and enthusiastic movement towards your desires. It feels natural, effortless, and in complete alignment with who you are. It's when you're so excited about your vision that you're drawn to take action, not because you have to, but because you want to. The law of transmutation of energy. This law says that everything, including your thoughts, feelings, and words, is made of energy. And energy can't be created or destroyed, only be changed from one form to another. When you think or feel something, it doesn't just stop there. It turns into something that goes out into the universe. This law is where thoughts become things originates. You need to know that whatever thoughts and feelings you have, you're creating and attracting something in response to that thought. So you need to choose good thoughts and feelings, and you need to do this on purpose. Don't dwell on a bad thought too long, otherwise it might turn into a bad situation. Be quick to shift your thoughts. When you notice you're having a negative thought, change the energy of that thought by replacing it with a positive one. Do this quickly before the negative thought turns into reality. The law of cause and effect. This law says that you get back what you give out. What you do to others or to the world will come back to you. It is the law of karma. Everything that happens in life has a reason. Things are happening either to you or for you because of something you did. If you do good things, it benefits you. And if you do bad things, it also affects you. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Understanding this law empowers you with the knowledge that if you want to change the effects you experience, you must alter the causes you put into motion. You reap what you sow. You never reap mangoes if you sow apples. You will never reap love if you sow hate. You get exactly what you send out into the universe. What you give is what you get. If you give love, you get love. If you give money, you get money. What goes around comes back around. What you do or say doesn't just disappear. It always comes back to either reward you or hurt you. It might not come back right away, but it will come back. The law of compensation. This law is one and connected with the law of vibration, attraction, cause of effect, and transmutation of energy. This law states that you will be rewarded in direct proportion to the value you provide to others, to the world. It encapsulates the principle that as you give, so shall you receive. The value you contribute to others, to society, or to the world will inevitably find its way back to you. This law is not confined to monetary or material gains alone. It transcends the physical realm, encompassing love, kindness, joy, and peace. When you give love freely, you find love. When you spread joy, you experience joy. The law of relativity. This law says that nothing is good or bad by itself. Things are what you decide they are. It all comes down to the meaning you give them. This law urges you to step back from your individual experiences and see them from a broader perspective. What might seem like a significant problem to you might appear as a minor obstacle when compared to the challenges others face. Similarly, what you perceive as a small achievement might be a dream for someone else. The law of relativity tells you that you don't need to label everything around you. When something happens, you don't have to say whether it's good or bad. Instead, you can see it as the effect of a cause. You decide to give the right meaning to everything in your life. Everything that happens in your life is really neutral. It's only positive or negative because you label it that way. The law of polarity. This law states that there are two ends to everything and everything has an opposite. Life has a start and an end. There's a spiritual world, and we're living in the physical world. There's the North Pole and the South Pole. There's a divine female energy and a divine male energy. Twin flames often seem very different from each other, but they're really one and the same. There is hot and cold, but they are simply different degrees of what we call temperature. There is good and bad, but they are simply different degrees of what we perceive as morality. In your life, the law of polarity teaches you that even during your darkest times, there exists the potential for light. In your greatest struggles, there are seeds of opportunity. In your deepest sorrow, the capacity for joy persists. The law of rhythm. The universe has a natural rhythm or flow, and it doesn't like being disrupted. It teaches you that everything in the universe moves in a cycle or a pattern, akin to a pendulum swing or the changing of seasons. Just as the tide flows in and out, just as day turns into night and winter gives way to spring, every aspect of life is subject to this rhythmic motion. This law reminds you that your life, too, is subject to these natural rhythms. There are times of activity and times of rest, periods of growth and periods of retreat, moments of joy and moments of sorrow. You can avoid a lot of problems by being patient and letting things happen naturally in their own time. Chaos happens when you try to force things to happen on your schedule. This doesn't work and can leave you feeling frustrated. And the last law is the law of gender. This law has nothing to do with being male or female and everything to do with the masculine and feminine energies within ourselves and the universe. Whether you are a man or a woman, it's crucial to understand the relationship between the masculine and feminine energies that exist within all of us. There's no energy that's superior or better, just energies that are opposites but work together. Understanding the law of gender helps us appreciate the importance of balance. It tells us that to reach our full potential, we must harmonize both the masculine and feminine energies within us. This is not about being less of a man or less of a woman. It's about embracing all aspects of our nature to become complete individuals. These are ancient laws that the wisest people of the lands have always intuitively known and lived by. When you don't follow these laws, you're kind of fighting against how the world works, and that makes life really tough. It's not like someone is punishing you, but life can feel like a punishment because you're swimming against the current of the universe. If you're still here, why not share which of these laws you've been following or plan to start following from now on? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you, John. Greater wisdom. Tonight's videos filled us in on a very deep message. It's not new. We hear bits and pieces of this each week. But tonight, I want you to absorb that. Go watch it again. John will post that on the chat so that you can have the link and go back in there and listen. Take it apart and look at each segment of what they talk about. The most important thing for all of us is to realize this isn't laws like laws of the land. This is not 3D stuff that they rewrite and alter because times change and things kind of don't vibrate at the same frequency and they need to do it all over again. Universal law never, ever changes. And as we realize what's happening outside of us is dictated by what's going on inside us. As you develop your extrasensory perceptions by emptying out your past and making a highway, a literal highway for energy to move through you, you will start feeling on a level that you haven't before. All of you are feeling lots of things that you didn't feel 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. We're different people. Each time we hear universal law and absorb what it's telling us, the message, it's so important to take it inside and let it all just become part of us. That was the whole thing with Jesus, with the drink my blood and eat my flesh. It had nothing to do with that. It was symbolizing what he said and who he was to absorb it into you. Just like these wonderful videos that we're guided to show us the way, the truth. As we absorb the understanding of universal law and how that mechanism works within us, life does take on a whole nother feeling. We become so aware of what's around us. When people speak to us, we'll hear the words, but more so, we will feel the words. And that is the telltale for you, the feeling behind the words. As you develop your extrasensory system, you're going to be very different. You'll be very quiet and you'll be observing. You'll be an observer. You're going to be very quiet because that way you can feel on a deeper level. When we're talking, we're letting go of energy out of our mouth. Our mouth, our words were meant to create with. We are creators. And our words manifest because the universe takes our words, our thoughts, and creates with them. We, all of us, cannot in any way or form blame anybody for what happens in our life, even though it appears that it is others causing our pain and suffering. It's all inside us. What we believe, what we feel, what we fight with, what we argue with ourselves, what laws we wrote inside long ago. Unless those laws are based on universal law, they will have to change if we expect to have peace in our life. The wonder of it all is that we get so caught up in our emotions and we get into our head and let that spin and cause us to feel confused and feel angry and then mull over things and make ourselves so miserable. We can't even make a decision because we have everybody's opinions hitting at us. But when you hear truth, it will be absorbed in a very different way. It'll catch your attention. I promise you. And you will hear it, not just listen. All of us listen to a lot of things. It's in the hearing that we actually absorb it. Get our attention, our focus on what's going on right where we are at any moment. And when you get that absorbed, everything around you is irrelevant. And you find yourself so totally absorbed in what you're concentrating on. It is such a gift to yourself. 100% present. That's why you can remember things like a steel trap when you're there listening to that degree. It's almost like it's etched into your mind in a deeper way than just conversation. The glory and beauty of this journey is to take those universal laws and sit with them. Try to understand, am I actually functioning in this way? Do I see everybody as me? Do I look out for myself and treat others the way I'd like to be treated? Or do I do to others what others do to me? Life isn't a game to play. It's a learning experience, opportunities for us to refine ourselves, to become the truth about ourselves, to become a master of the lower realms, just like those that work with us. To some, that sounds absolutely absurd. They'll look at you like you're in La La Land. Sometimes my Charlie does that. But we're not. We know the truth. We know the truth. Don't allow anybody to take away what you know is the truth. They just don't understand yet. Don't judge it. Just love them. But remember, there's a part of us that doesn't believe if we have somebody looking at us like that or making a comment. You see? Where is it hiding? That's what I always want to know. What have I missed? Today I found a spot. It's quite remarkable. It's a constant and continuous journey upwards. It's such grace and glory you give yourself. Just be out there and enjoy your life. Look at it as a great adventure. Every day something new is learned, is realized, becomes knowledge to you about yourself, about how people react or respond to you. Listening to your own voice and asking yourself, do I do that or do I just talk about it? Knowledge is wonderful, wonderful, but we've got to actually implement it into life to really know what we read. what we learned. Once we experience it, it actually becomes wisdom. Now, if we experience it and have a difficult time with it and struggle, it's okay. It's okay. As long as we keep going until we get it, until it becomes wisdom, till we have that holy moment when we say to ourselves, I get it. I really get it. Never beat yourself up. Don't be mean. You're trying as hard as you can. And if you're not, admit it to yourself and make more effort. We don't have to fight about anything anymore. The fight's over. All we have to do is surrender to the divinity within us. That holy place of grace and goodness that we talk about in religious talk. A lot of the text in religion has so much beauty in it. A lot of it is misunderstood and misapplied. The dogma really limits you. It didn't mean to, but at the time that it was written, it was necessary. You see? As times change, we have a direct and beautiful communication between our own higher self and that part of us, that divine part of us, is a cell in the body of God. Also, we're animated by that light. And in that light is God. God is that light. So there's no separation between you and the divine, the prime creator. And as you let go of the little you, more and more you will be expressing the prime creator. Everything will be clear. There'll be nothing you won't understand or know. And whatever experience yet is for you to have, it will be given. Sometimes it isn't so pleasant because we struggle with it. We don't like to have to go through a day like that. But it's for our good, because until we get it right, we still have that shadow. And we don't want any shadows within us. This wonderful wisdom, this greater wisdom, is what we seek to understand life, to understand ourself, our purpose, our reason for being. Why people die, why people live. I hear people say all the time, he was the nicest guy I ever knew. Why did he die when he was 32? And then you have the grouchies and the antagonists and all those that do things that hurt and harm. But it isn't for us to judge. When they're done, they go. And those that have a job to do it very well. The antagonists seem to have a free rein. Be the light of God, joyfully and lovingly. Embrace life, and it will embrace you. As we heal from our past and let everything go, we transform ourselves. I hear people's prayers begging God to save them. What is that? We're here to save ourselves by transforming our thoughts, our ways, our patterns that will serve us In the film, it was talking about letting go of everything that doesn't serve you anymore. Sometimes it's difficult. You say to yourself, well, how can I do this? How can I let that person go, even though they drive me insane? If they're driving you insane, it would be the perfect time to realize they've given you everything you need to know. And if there's anything in you that is triggered by that, you have your work ahead of you without remaining in the beating. It's like women that stay with men who are very, very abusive to them, mentally, emotionally, physically, and they keep going back. It's a death sentence. But it can be that way for us too, if we stay in toxic relationships, if we don't change the things that are really not helping us whatsoever. It keeps us so in a loop until we finally say no more. What served me 20 years ago would be choking me to death today. All of us can look at our life and say that. So the greater wisdom is released within you as you empty yourself of your past, as you take notice of everything going on in your life and decide how you want to live your life. If it is not pleasing, if you're struggling in any way, change your mind. Now, this thing about the vibration, if you vibrate in love, to make it very simple for you so that you don't struggle with it, just vibrate in the frequency of love, acceptance, surrender, and grace. You won't have to worry about all of the details on everything in your life, because that's the highest frequency that you can reach. It's not like nobody can do that until they're at a certain point. You can do that at any time you want to change your mind. And for those that are stubborn and want to hang on to things that aren't serving them, eventually they're going to be very discouraged, blame it on everybody around them, rather than take the reins and say, this is all about me. This is all about me. And I can make that change. I can transform things that make me just so disappointed and angry into such joy. Such joy. We just have to change our mind. Figure out why we do what we do. Are we really serving another person? Or are we enabling them to do what they're showing us they do? I know with all of my heart and soul that not everybody is ready to be a master right now. And those people, we have to accept that. However, as you rise up your frequency, anyone connected to your heart is being affected by that. You will see it around you and wonder, why is everybody really changing around me? This is so cool. It's because you're working. And they're helping you in many, many ways. Some as the antagonist, some as the weakness, some blah, blah, blah. Everybody's got their part to play. And it's us that has to realize what they're showing us about us. If it's like a man in our life and we're a woman, that is an expression of what's my own male is going through. If you're a man and it's a woman who is showing you things that are painful to observe and experience, it's because that's your female. You're weak or ill or delusional part of your female if you're a man. And we can see it also women to women, men to men. Everyone is showing us part of ourselves. Some of it's awful funny. It really is. Some of it's very sad. However, all of it is necessary to lift us out of this feeling that we are stuck in this environment, stuck with this behavior. We're not stuck with anything, and nobody can stop you from changing your mind. When you do, your own higher self is doing the happy dance because you're hearing the messages. When you put out this new level of creation into the universe snaps to it to create it. Your life changes. You'll look at it and say, wow, I feel like I died and went to heaven. Well, you don't have to die to do that, because heaven is a consciousness, a state of mind and consciousness. You revert to your divine mind and sacred heart rather than the brain and the little will. That is mastery. And there's all different levels of that. You, as a spark of God, can do whatever you want to create in the world. In your world, it will reflect right there in front of you. Sometimes we're feeling a great sense of joy about what we create in our life. And other times it really sets us in a position to think it out again. Why is this happening? It's because of me. So what can I do about it? Even though it appears that it's everyone around me pushing me around with their ideas, their decisions, their needs. That's not where we get it from. It's got to come from inside you, from that great, incredible I am that is available to you, the Christ in you and the Christ in me. I used to blame everybody for my misery. I used to feel that everybody was so bad and so mean. But I was looking at a part of myself that I refused to identify with, that I wasn't doing in this lifetime, maybe. But I did, or I wouldn't have experienced it. I wrote my script. I wrote it well. We even put clauses into our script. Are you ready? If I find myself not on track at a certain point in my journey, I want to have my higher self smack me down. It always starts in little increments, and then it becomes the big smackdown. We actually wrote that into the script because we knew we were going to give ourselves a fight. We still want to play. We still want to be not in our mastery. Do you know how many lifetimes we've played? We played every part we dreamed up. We've been every nationality, in every country, almost every country. On other planets, we've done it all. The great warriors, the great lovers, the antagonizers, the peace bringers. We've done it all. In this lifetime, we've made our choice. And we were given the great privilege of coming here to hold the light for others. That doesn't mean we live their life. It just means we are ourselves and we're loving freely. The reason Jesus said not to judge is because we don't know our part or their part. We don't know the whole story. We just have to wing it and hold true to the love and light of God within us and others, even the people who don't seem to deserve it, because they're playing their part. You see, it takes all of us from every angle, wherever we light ourselves, wherever we find ourselves living. That's exactly where we need to be. It's like the old adage of people who want to go out and save the world, that they would leave a family to do it, to struggle without them, to leave their husband or wife to save other people. What is this? What the man in the video said was, we don't want to look inside ourselves. We don't want to do the work. It's so much easier to tell people what we know. But what I learned is what comes out of your mouth for someone else, you best be following what you said. You best be doing it, because you're supposed to do it first before you expect anybody to listen to you. Every once in a while, you'll hear me say, I can speak with authority on this matter. And the reason is I mastered it. I worked it from every angle until I got it right. And that gives your voice and your words such power to others to hear it from a master, someone who mastered that lower frequency. That's why we're here, to realize this. It's awesome. It really is. But just remember, it's our higher self pulling it off. So our little ego shouldn't be stroked. This is our higher self, a great divine being that you are at your potential. So when our little ego says, oh man, I am so great, I am so, yeah, right. No. And you'll get that knocked down a peg as soon as you get full of yourself. I know. Happens. And it's a good thing, a good humbling. Every once in a while, it's very healthy. All right. I feel like it's time. Oh, well, what didn't you know? It's 8:30. All right. So thank you so much for listening. It was a great topic. It's great information. Make sure you really, really take it to heart and go back into those videos. They were so well spoken. Thank you very, very much for listening. God bless you. I love you. So the greater wisdom is within you through your own I am. Jesus said, I am that I am. That's the top of the line. That's how you get Christed. Once you merge with that level of yourself, you're there. You are a master. Imagine that the world can't fool you. It can't pull you down. The drama is for those that go with that or need it. Greater wisdom is from within. Everything comes from within you. You can trust it. You can feel it. You'll know the change that occurs because your life will change. The greater wisdom is your potential. Don't seek any being to fix you, to heal you. Ask them to help you, because that's what they do. They will bring you light so that you can help yourself. They will bring you wisdom so that you can help yourself. I suggest you depend on your higher self for all of this, and thank those great saints and other great masters to be there as a support system. They take turns working with you according to what you're going to be doing in the next leg of your journey. Greater wisdom is yours to embrace, to live with, to learn from, and to become. You're not stuck. You're growing. You're learning. You're transforming. You're becoming your potential. Don't judge the days that are tough or when you're in a quandary. Focus on the joy and love that you are. Make sure you address the things that are not going well. Don't just let them go. That's your job. It's an inside job. I always say that, because nothing outside you is happening by chance. Everything you see, hear, smell, touch, and learn, everything is for you, is for you to take it inside you, get it, understand it, use it, transform yourself with it. Don't point your finger and say, it's them, it's them, it's them, it's them. Them lives inside you, especially if they cause you a lot of dissension and worry and anger and frustration. Don't let the drama in the world do that to you. Just look at it all and bless it all, because it's all got a purpose and a meaning to someone and something. And if it's for you, you'll know it, because you won't get it out of your head. And then it's up to you to dissect it, to look at it and say, what is it that it has to do with me? Why do I feel the way I do? And then get brutally honest with yourself. Ooh, I didn't want to do that today, but I did. I got brutally honest. And it was like the whole world shifted in that moment. All of us can do this. We can use our little will to align with our divine will. And that is when the great shift occurs, over and over again, until we've reached that place where nothing disturbs our peace. Nothing brings us pain and sorrow. This is why we're here. This is your great journey. Find the adventure in it. Wake up and look forward to your life. And if you don't, change what is happening by changing your mind. It sounds so simple, because it is. There's nothing complex about spirituality. Anyone that makes it complex, well, they might want to keep you wondering, like they have the answer to the question. They're just like you. They're just like you. They do have great information. Some of it is amazing. It can change your world sometimes when you hear certain things that never even occurred to you. That's why we're all together, each of us bringing a gift to somebody else. Every day, hours and hours in the day, different people, even if you're home, believe it or not, the energy that's around you, if you live in an apartment, a townhouse, a connected house, in some way, you're feeling the energy fields of the people around you. With me, I got a lot of animals running around. They teach me too. It really gets me in tuned with the rhythm of life. I watch the way nature moves. It is not quick. Everything is slow and deliberate. The tree doesn't ask me when the leaves are going to turn color. It knows. It just does what it does. The insects, the rodents, all the animals around me, they all know exactly what they need to do to get through the winter, to get prepared, filling their little faces with the oak, the acorns from the trees. They look so funny. They got these big puffy things because they're bringing them down into their tunnels, which they destroyed my flower garden, but we won't discuss that this evening. If you watch nature, she will teach you everything you need to know about life. Everything has its season. Everything has its holy moment. Everything happens slowly. If you try to force things, the universe cannot keep up with you and it will crash, because without the support of the universe, nothing is going to move forward. Zippity doo dah, zero. So when that happens, just pull back and say, okay, it's not time. It's just not time. And other times it is time, and you're sitting around doing something else. And let me tell you, you will be drawn forward. I've had that happen. It's the funniest thing I ever saw. I didn't want to go someplace. And meanwhile, I'm feeling that I'm dragged into my closet and picking out clothes. And I'm saying, I'm not going anywhere. And yes, I was. Yes, I was. So let me tell you, when you surrender to your divinity, put things in divine order, your life will move. It will move forward as it should. And if you start doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing that day, according to what you wrote for that day, because you got to be meeting with somebody at a certain time that they're going to be there and all the arrangements were made, we're going to get there. And if we don't, we missed a great opportunity. Yeah. So as we allow ourselves to be under the guise of our own higher self, our lives become amazing. We no longer have to stress and worry, oh my God, am I going to forget an appointment? No, you won't. No, you won't. You'll find the slip of paper you wrote that's under 10 other papers that says exactly what was happening in an hour. You'll be there. You'll be there. Just unclutter your mind from all of the stress and worry. Information overload is what it is. Just breathe. Just breathe. And when things start piling up, you got to just stop. You got to stop it. Something's out of order. And it's usually me. And you just sit down and breathe and ask your higher self, okay, what's going on? What do I need to see? And the feeling will come up. And then you have to be really brutally honest. We can make believe, you know how good we are at excuses? Like we tell our husband or wife all these excuses of why I didn't do what I was supposed to do, or I didn't get to what I promised I'd do. It doesn't work with the universe. It doesn't work with your higher self. There are no excuses. Just be honest. Just be honest. And the more that you're honest with yourself, the more that this honest energy will be in your fields, and people honest to God, they will have to be truthful and honest with you. It'll shock them because they can't lie to you. And if they do, you're going to read it anyway. It's just, it seems like magic, but it's actually our own higher sensory system that is available to us. On the higher planes, you can't hide anything because you're in a light body and it keeps changing colors according to what you're thinking, no matter what you're saying. And everybody points at you and laughs. It happened to me when I was on the higher plane. I was saying something, I really thought I was being sincere, but it really wasn't vibrating with what they saw was in my energy field. It's very embarrassing, but nobody makes fun of you. It's just that everybody could see through you, absolutely see through you. So let's practice here while we're in this body and saying, nobody can see. Yeah, some of us can. Some of us can. But all of us can. And you're not doing it to be nosy. You're doing it because it's just a natural phenomena. It just is. So with all my love, I say to you, the greater wisdom is available to you. Take the gift, embrace it, use it. You have a happy life ahead of you, filled with joy and love. Make it happen. Choose that path. Everything beautiful that you do, what you think, what you feel, is changing the world around you. Be that person. It's good for you, and it's good for others. Thank you so much for being attentive tonight. We're all growing so beautifully together. I am honored to be a friend of yours. I'm honored to be with you every week. God bless each and every one of you, just the way you are. Amen. So tonight, Archangel Michael has a wonderful evening for us, and I'm looking very much forward to this beautiful guided meditation. Okay, remove the glasses before I crunch them on my nose. So let's ground ourselves real good. I'm not quite sure what Archangel Michael has in store for us, but I want to make sure we're well grounded. Okay? Guess how we do this? We bring the light up our right foot, up our leg. We're breathing in as it comes up, crossing our body, looping around our head to the right shoulder, crossing our body as we breathe out. Down our leg, left leg, out our foot into the earth. I'm going to count to 14 as I do mine. Please go right ahead and do it. Begin. Completed 14 rounds. Now see the figure 8 in front of you and in back of you. And let's breathe in as we're sending it to the front, sending the light to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. This magnificent white light, the Christ radiance, is coming up and sealing us in a beautiful ball of white light. See it sealed around you. You are protected. Nothing but love can enter this seal. I want you to begin the journey. We're going up to reach a certain level to be with Archangel Michael. He's waiting for us, so let's get right on our way. As you're going up the pathway, remember, just leave everything behind. All your thoughts, all your worries, all your plans. Just start moving. Think of the joy of being with this great being of light. Moving together, ever higher. Such a beautiful path to walk on. Up in the clouds. Your body will start feeling lighter. In the far distance, we can see the rainbow doorway that will let us go into the other dimension that we are seeking to be in. Keep moving towards that doorway. By now, you should not really feel too much of your body. As we reach the doorway, we're going to go through the rainbow, and that leaves everything behind except your light body. When you get to the other side, just wait for everybody to be there. Some of you guys are such gentlemen, telling the ladies to go first. I think that's beautiful. Two more, come on. Okay. Now let's walk over to where there are these beautiful trees in a grove, and they're circling around us, around the back, behind us. We're going to form a circle. And when Archangel Michael is ready, he'll just appear to us in the center. Spread out a little bit so that we're almost backing up to the trees, because they're going to be supporting us tonight. They're beautiful, mighty oaks. And there he is in all his beauty. He's surrounded by blue light. He's actually becoming clearer to be able to see him from that blue light that he was transported in. And with a great smile on his face, he's welcoming all of us. And what he's saying is he's welcoming us to be here together, but he's going to take each one of us on a little journey. He'll be able to do this because he's omnipresent, and he can bring all of us at the same time, but only an individual journey will we be on. We won't all be together for this one. As he approaches you, I want you to look into those beautiful eyes of his. He wants you to just make eye contact with him and breathe. Look at his face. Look at his hair. The magnificent blue light around him. Feel his presence. Breathe it in. He's looking right at you. There's nobody but you and him. When he takes your hand, you're going on a journey with him. And then he will return us all to the circle. I'm going to be quiet so that you can go off with Michael. Oh, Archangel Michael is bringing us back to the circle. Find your place where you're comfortable. The tree that was supporting you in the beginning. Archangel Michael is thanking us for giving him the opportunity to spend time with each one of us. He's asking you to look into his eyes one more time as he projects a blue ray into your third eye. It's beautiful. Receive this gift. It will strengthen you. And with that, he lifts up into the blue light and disappears from our sight. We realize we're all there together. Let's sit down at the base of the tree and just sit there quietly, reflecting on where you went, what he said, what you did. Feel the peace that passes understanding from the gift of the blue ray. Feel a sense of yourself, of the peace that you can have every day, every moment of every day, that you'll be taking back with you once we get back in our bodies. Now look across the circle and then around at each one that's sitting here with us. All of us having this experience together is very special and bonding. It's a beautiful thing. And when you're ready, we'll stand up. Thank the tree that you're leaning against. And let's find our way back to the doorway. It's outside of the circle of trees. Down the path a little short way. When you're ready, go through the doorway. You'll enter back into your body. Start finding your way down the path. It's much quicker going down. You'll start feeling the weight of your body again. get to the bottom of the path and be back in your body, in your room, wherever you are. Move your toes and your fingers to get a feel for being back. And when you're ready, we can open our eyes and prepare to share.